how to get into Inc., Entrepreneur, and basically other big name magazines. Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl M PR. We're a public relations agency based in the UK, USA, as well as Uganda, and serving clients worldwide. And here today in 39 days of public relations training, we're here to talk about how to get into all of these big name publications. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to 11 additional strategies not shared in this training. So look, fundamentally, when it comes to these spaces, and today is day number 16, as you can see. The fundamentals of it, and we did briefly go over parts of this in day number 15, is that you need to look at each. There's an approach to take. Okay, you need to look at each individual publication. You need to spend 20 to 30 minutes getting to know the publication, and then as consequence of the publication, you need to take some time to do a little bit of individual research per platform. So much like we discussed with Forbes, there's a couple of elements here that become important. Number one, read through a couple of the articles, get to know their length, their style. Number two, make sure that you can identify contributors or editors that you think would match with something that you can add from a value driven perspective. And then furthermore, make sure that you have a list of titles as well as some level of public brand that you can go to them with. It's rare that you're going to, if you're a complete unknown or you haven't done something notable, that you're going to just get in out of the gate. It's definitely more challenging unless you, of course, know someone. So these are some of the fundamentals that you want to think about. Make sure that you've got some kind of, number one, experience or background, okay, in the niche. So some self-evident area, some self-evident expertise that you could point towards. That's definitely going to be important. Number two, you want to make sure that you fundamentally are able to put together a list of titles that you think would make a good fit. But number three, you want to also, of course, do research per platform. So if we go to an example of, let's say, Inc. magazine, look again, have a look at their sections, and that's going to be a really good place to start. Okay, so monthly digital. Ah, so they've now closed it off. Okay, which is interesting. It's now a paid magazine, which is cool. But let's now have a look at then entrepreneur entrepreneur.com, and if they say made that subscription only as well, and I think they have, to be honest with you. Let's have a look. FinTech Haven. So great. So in here, you could again go to latest video, start a business, identify some of the writers, and see again the same principle. So more from latest, most popular news and trends. This is the happiest country in the world. Oh, there were some spaces there that became important. But as you can see here, we've got editions. We're looking at the UK editions. Running a business in one of the country's largest cities, so about Romania. European Union, start a business, news and trends. So let's go to, for example, let's go to growth strategies. Most popular, the best way to run a business meeting, 3 ways. So as you can see, you're beginning to find the writers to become your most productive self. Yeah, runs 2 multi-million-dollar businesses and authored 4 best-selling books in the top one. So we could then, connect with her to see what we could do to become a contributor. We've got other CEOs here that are listed at the bottom. Go from local professional to a national powerhouse. This is definitely a training company. But as you can see, you identify the author, you have a look at what she writes, and then you will want to cross-reference some of this on LinkedIn. Okay, so if we just take the example of Kristen Mashaw, it's we've still got Krista Mashore up, which is great. And then we'll follow Krista Mashore on social. Digital marketing coach. So she runs a digital marketing training business, four best-selling books, took her business to 0 to $7.4 million. Super impressive. From her coaching company. Russell Brunson's prestigious 2 Comma Club. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think that looking at Krista, looking at connecting with her, looking at seeing if there's something that you could write to that extent, that would model what she's working on. Heading over to entrepreneur.com in general, I think, of course, and then looking at entrepreneur.com's LinkedIn profile, having a look at the actual writers, so people, and then look for the word maybe editor, and then just seeing what happens there. 81, yeah. So now we've got a list of people who are perhaps former editors, editor-in-chief of Entrepreneur Magazine. Okay, so he's the actual editor. So as you can see, there's a combination of strategies that you can use to get in by doing the editorial connection, by going directly to a contributor connection, by looking at their previous work, and then making sure that you either go for the transactional style outreach or you go for the relationship build, both of which we've talked about in terms of how to fundamentally build your outreach in training number 8, identifying journalists to pitch to, and using using a combination of these things, you can slowly begin to make your way into Inc, Entrepreneur, or other big name magazines. So if you want some support with that, obviously get in touch. Thank you.